Hello everybody. I thought I would commentate the KRS Season 3 qualifiers here. This is a tournament or a series called Firefly, and it is 4 Zergs playing against 4 Protoss, and the Zergs are in the same team and the Protoss players are in the same team. So I don't know much about this tournament, but it seems to be some sort of race war survival tournament with the race winning going on to the next series, I believe. There are a lot of players in this tournament who have advanced, or a few players that have advanced from the school tournament runner-up in Korea that was recently played, and we also have a lot of former professional players going off in this tournament. And in this series, we have famous former players like July Zerg, KMC and Snow playing in this tournament. And the first game that we're going to have when we get this started, I think the Korean commentating is a bit loud. I'll turn that down a little bit. I'll actually turn that off. Alright, we have Miso as the Zerg player here, going up against KMC as the Protoss player. And Miso, I do not know much about this player, but he is a former Zerg player on CJ Entus, and he did beat Scan, a very good Terran player, in Clash for Char number 12 in a 3-2 series, so he is a force to be reckoned with for sure. And KMC is a former professional player for the Air Force Ace in South Korea. He has played a lot of Brood War. He's 28 years old and he has a lot of experience. Let's see. I'm using liquipedia.net to confirm these IDs, these Korean IDs they have with the English ID. So I have confirmed that this is Miso against KMC. The winning player, I believe, will stay like a king of the hill format and play the next player on the line. As you can see in the bottom, there are 4 Zerg players and 4 Protoss players, and I believe the team that every player that loses get removed from the tournament, and when all 4 players of the respective race is out, the tournament is done, and the winning the winning race will continue. I do not see a lot of games from KMC lately. Liquipedia says that his latest accomplishment is from 2014, so he might be retired. And it looks like Miso, the Zerg player, has a lot of experience lately, playing in several tournaments year 2017 with a lot of great results. He did even beat Rain, or he lost to Rain 1-2 in ASL Season 4 qualifiers. But he did beat KMC 2-1 in ASL Season 4 qualifiers. So it seems that Miso might have the upper hand in this game, and I'm missing the entire start of this game. And it looks like KMC actually has some practice lately. I apologize about that. What did I do now? Hang on. I forgot all about the game, reading from Liquipedia. Sorry about that. It looked like Zerg was going for some aggressive opening here. Let's see what is going on. I do not know what map this is. It looks like a 3-player map. I don't know if I've ever encountered this map before, so I don't know how balanced it is for these 2 matchups. But it's probably a really good map since it is chosen in this tournament. And this is a really big tournament in Korea too. Season 2 had around 1 million views over the span of 10 weeks, which is a lot of views. But I do not know much about this tournament at all, and that's why I thought I would commentate it, so I learn a bit more about this tournament and get some more StarCraft in there. We see a gateway opening here from KMC, very nice. We're going to see some early Zealot aggression, which is always nice to see, and a very micro-intensive opening here. Zergi's going for some sort of early pull. Looks like he went for a 9 pull. Or it may, I think it's a 9 pull. Overlord coming up here. And Zerg has 10 out of 9 supply here, using the extractor trick to remove a supply temporarily to get another drone out. Nine pull against Gateway first is a bit tricky. Zerg has a lot of opportunity to get some damage on early on. And then Protoss has a chance to counterattack once he gets 3 to 5 Zealots out and a cannon. So we're going to see a lot of attacking units to start this game off. A 12 hatch going down. So this is not a one base all in from the Zerg, just an early pressure build. And Protoss has not scattered the Lings, he actually misses the Lings with the probe. So this can be a disaster. If 6 Lings get into the Protoss main base, that's probably gonna be it. And avoiding that Zealot too. Wow, Miso is playing really good here. Protoss has no idea. Okay, he does scout that the 9 pull is out, so he knows the Lings are out on the map. Most likely he knows that Lings are on the way, but he doesn't send that Zealot home, so he maybe doesn't know. It's gonna lose its shield, it's gonna be surrounded, it's red HP. That pylon is in huge danger right now, and so might the gateway. We have a Zealot and a probe over here, but 4 Lings is more than enough to defend that, and the Zealot is gonna go down. Probe is gonna go down. Zealot is on red HP, we got 5 Lings here, the gateway is red HP too. I think he might, oh my god, the gateway goes down. So Protoss can only make probes right now. The Forge is going up, but that is very late. Zerg just has to make more Lings here, and there should be no way Protoss can defend this. This is a very tough opening for the Protoss player. And defending this is going to be really hard. He's going to be able to get a cannon up, but he will have to sacrifice a lot of probes to defend that cannon. And Zerg is getting a 3rd hatchery as well. He's keep making Zerglings. There are around 8 to 10 Zerglings on the way too. So Zerg is going to have a lot of Lings. He might even have speed on the way. Looks like he has the gas. I don't know when he got that gas, so I don't know when speed is coming out. Zerglings are getting in. That's more Zerglings than probes, but he does have a low HP Zealot there. He's doing an okay job here. 4 Zerglings coming in, but he might be able to defend this actually. Zealot goes down. 2 probes against 3 Lings. That is not a winning game for Protoss. More Lings coming in. 4 Lings attacking that. The cannon goes down. The Zealot might be on the way, but that cannon going down. A lot of lost probes. More Zerglings coming in. GG. KMC goes down. Misa takes the first game here. That's a very quick game. It is very tricky going gateway first if you do not scout these Lings coming in. And that's how quick a game can end when opening gateway. It is a bit risky. It's a very hard opening for the Protoss to start off with. But Misa did play very well hiding those Zerglings. He probably scouted the Zealots coming out with his Overlord and made the right decision of hiding those Lings. Almost surrounding that Zealot, getting it to red HP. If KMC scattered those Lings and held that Zealot home, having it at full HP, I think he would be fine against that. But almost losing that Zealot, getting it to red HP, is a huge difference there. So let's see who's going up for the next game here. KMC is out. We will not see any more games from KMC. Alright, let's see who these players are. I think that Miso is playing again. Winner stays, I believe. So who is the Protoss player here? I'm going to find out real quick. It might be Snow? Alright, Snow seems to be a former CJ Entus player too. So he has a lot of experience playing Brood War 2. He's 24 years old. And he has participated in Dunjing Star League Season 1 year 2017 in December, so just 2-3 months ago. And he beat Mong 3-0, and Mong is a very, very strong Terran player, so... But I'm not sure this is Snow. We're gonna check. It seems to not be Snow playing, so it's one of the other two Protoses. My bad. Let's see, is it Horang 2? Doesn't seem like it's Horang either. So that means it has to be NV Bisu. Doesn't seem like it's... I don't recognize the ID here. I think that it is Bisu NV playing. But I do not recognize the ID, so I'm not really sure. Either way, it's a PvZ and these are professional gamers, so it ought to be a good game. Let's watch the game. Alright, looks like we have a 9-pool opening from the Zerg here. And Protoss, it looks like he opened for a Forge opening here. Yes, those lings are out really early. And Protoss does not... Protoss has scouted the lings on the way and he's opted to put that cannon in the main, sacrificing his Forge and Pylon at the natural. This is very common against 4-pool and 6-pool to put your cannon in your main base like this, because there's no time to get it at your natural and defend it. And we see here that the lings are at the natural before the cannon is done. So getting the cannon in the main here was a good decision from the Protoss player. Okay, the ID seems to be Flash May Bisu from the Protoss player. So it seems to be Bisu.NV playing here. NV.Bisu. It is not the famous Bisu playing. And I think NV Bisu... I found him on Liquipedia here. Yeah, it is NV Bisu playing. My bad. Apologies for not having that in... not knowing that before. I do not have much information about him though, in former games, etc. Team Liquid do not have any stats on him, other than that he's 24 years old playing Protoss. Either way, he's got 2 gates up here. I'm surprised Protoss is not getting a gas. Zerg is getting 3 hatches up now. When Protoss gets down 2 gateways like this and going gasless, he has to put on a lot of pressure. Because there's not really a threat from Zerg. He made 6 lings, but he doesn't have speed on the lings. Zerg is getting his gas right now. So there's only a few handful speedless lings out, and Protoss responded with a cannon and 2 gateways. So he's going for some... He's gonna get a Nexus up. Alright, this is good. But that's a very late Nexus. but he does have a lot of zealots up, and Zerg is quite spread out on 3 bases here, so we might see potential pressure here from Protoss. The Zerg is going to have to get Ling speed up as soon as possible to defend this. Since he's a bit spread out, he does not want to get a lot of sunken colonies at his natural and his 3rd base. He wants to have a lot more Lings and maybe 1 sunken at each base or something like that. Protoss finally getting his gas up now, but his gas is a lot later than Zerg's gas, which is quite uncommon. Protoss is scouting the Zerg, so he sees everything. And the Zerg sees what Protoss is doing too with the Overlord at the natural there, so both players know exactly what their opponent is doing. I wonder here, this is a very weird game. Cancelling that Forge and forcing 2 gateways. It's a very interesting decision here from Protoss to get 2 gateways here. I don't really know what his plan is. I haven't seen this before really. I guess getting 2 gateways, maybe 1 gateway is not enough to defend the potential Lings that Zerg can make when losing your natural like this. Getting his cannon up as well. He has 6 zealots out. We see Zerg making a lot of Lings here with speed, so he's putting some pressure on here. Good thing that Protoss made 2 gateways. He's going to have a lot of zealots to defend this. Does the Protoss scan? The Protoss sees at least 10 Lings, so he knows that aggression is coming. Pulling his probes are very nice. That cannon is not done yet, and there's a few more seconds before it is done. Getting a 2nd cannon down. He's got a lot of zealots here. I don't think the Zerg can do much here. He's trying to take out a few probes here. Very nice. He gets 2 or 3 probes, which is an okay trade there for the Lings, considering there wasn't much else to do. Zerg is making drones again here, so just a small timing attack from the Zerg there, not setting him back too much, but this helps Protoss here. Protoss is deciding to counterattack here when his 2nd cannon is coming up, and he's got a lot of zealots. He's not going to have speed or +1 in a while though, so those are going to be slow moving zealots. It's going to take a while for him to reach the other side of the map. Stargate coming up here too. Zerg is going for the 5-hatch Hydra Spire build. I believe he has 5 hatches up, and he only has 1 gas up too, so he's not going to go into mutas anytime soon. Probably just going to use Scourges to defend against those Corsairs coming out any second. That is a lot of zealots, like what, 10 to 12 zealots. Zerg is probably making a few Hydras to defend this. Hydra Ling does okay against zealots. More Lings coming out, 2nd gas coming up too. That is a lot of Lings. He's decided to make mass Ling against this, which is good. The Protoss player might get into a choke there between the hatchery and the minerals, or the ramp here. This is going to be a close battle here. I don't know how many Lings he has, but he's doing an okay job here, taking out the zealots. 7 zealots left, and that is a lot of Lings. Nice micro from both players here. That is very nice zealot micro too. Hydra's coming out now. Probably going to try to target some drones here, or targets the Hydras. That's a good choice too. Wow, zealots are still surviving. More Lings coming in though. That is going to be that attack. I think the Zerg player here, Miso, lost maybe 1 drone to that. So that was a pretty fair trade. That's a very late layer though. Not very surprising during the circumstances of the early game. We had a lot of Zerglings coming out, so delaying that layer a little bit. But he has Hydras to defend against the Corsairs, so he's going to be just fine. Templar Archives on the way too. More Corsairs coming out. 3 Corsairs right now. Probably +1 attack and +1 ground on the way too. +1 attack on the way for Zerg, most likely too, on those Hydras. Pushing out with these Hydras, seeing if he can do anything. Only 2 cannons up, so this might actually be a bit dangerous here. 3rd cannon on the way, but that's very late. Zerg doesn't have too many units here. 4th cannon on the way too. A lot of zealots to buffer those cannons. More gateways going down. So we're going to see mass zealot High Templar coming out from Protoss here. Very the most standard unit composition to go. Protoss can go for Dragoon Range and Reaver, or a bit more focused DT play if they wanted to. There are different possibilities for Protoss to play against Zerg, but this is the most common and standard opening popularized by Bisu from the very beginning, and then been improved by dozens of Protoss players over time. 2 DTs out as well. That's a lot of DTs. Usually you get 1. So he's going for Corsair DT here. He wants to put on a lot of pressure with these DTs. I would assume he's going to dive on those Overlords when he gets a bit more Corsairs. But he still has 3 Corsairs. Maybe he stops making Corsairs. He finds the 4th base here from Zerg. That might be vulnerable to some DT pressure here. Overlord speed should be done soon too. But he might get those DTs down there before Overlord speed is done. Are they going there? That slow Overlord is desperately going to the south right location. Zerg knows he has to get detection over there. Protoss does not opt to send his DTs down there though. A bit surprising. 2 Eye Templars out. Robo facility coming up. Protoss taking a 3rd base here too. Still 3 Corsairs, so it looked like he stopped producing Corsairs here. Now a few Speed Zealots are moving down to the south right location, but Zerg has plenty of Hydras here, but this is going to be a close one. Zealots are super strong against a low amount of Hydras like this. So the Hydras are going to back off, but reinforcements is on the way. Third Nexus going down, getting a few cannons here. This 3rd base is a bit tricky to defend because Zerg has a high ground advantage there. So Protoss really wants to get that high ground advantage, and that is why he's getting his zealots up there to prevent any units from reaching that high ground location. And Protoss sees that Zerg is going into lurkers here, but he does have the robotics facility up, so he should have observers out already and a few more on the way. He's going for a shuttle. That is where those 2 DTs are going to go. Only 2 Corsairs alive here. A lot of Hydras coming up. Zerg is going to try to take this high ground advantage and post some sort of lurker contain with Hydras here, which is very strong against Protoss. We see the shuttle going to the top left of the map. He's probably going to go into the Zerg main here. I really like Protoss players who go for these DT drops. Oh, High Templars are vulnerable. 1 storm, but those High Templars are dead. Or at least 1 of them. 3 survive. Very nice, but that is on very low HP. And you see Protoss here desperately fighting for high ground advantage here. Oh, that Overlord sees everything. The shuttle doing a 360 spin close to the Overlord. Don't know what that was about. It looked very funny. Hydra's coming up here, so he's going to be prepared for the DT. But DTs are a bit tricky. You never know when they do damage. All of a sudden, they can kill 12 drones from nowhere. So let's see if he can keep those DTs alive in the main. Zerg regain the high ground advantage, but Storms looks like the DTs were killed. Good job from Misu here. NVBisu is moving out south to the map with some zealots. Maybe he's interested in taking the 4th base already down there. Zerg is making more lurkers here. The Protoss only has 2 Corsairs, so the Zerg has the opportunity to go mutas here and be quite strong. Protoss is deciding to attack the bottom right here, and there are not a lot of Hydras down here. 2 lurkers morphing. Lurkers coming down here to defend now, so this base will be safe. Zerg is putting down more hatcheries as well. Just macroing up, he's got a lot of drones. So it looks like this game is going to transition into mid/late game here, with Protoss trying to take his 4th base and Zerg most likely trying to get his 5th. Hive is on the way, a lot of Evo chambers up, so upgrades are going to be both good for both players here. I bet Protoss has 2 forges by this point too. Protoss is still on 2 gases here, because the North expansion, the 3rd of Protoss, does not have a gas. So Protoss is desperately in need for a 4th expansion to get another gas here. That's why we see a lot of Zealots out, because they do not cost any gas. But you want to get a lot of Dragoons and High Templars with those Zealots, and that's hard on 2 gases only. Protoss does have a lot of High Templars, but not really a strong army. I think this might be a bit risky from Protoss, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, we got a flank from the south here from the Zerg too. Just a handful of units left from Protoss. He does have a lot of storms, but he doesn't really have a buffer to these storms. Very nice storms from the Protoss player though, but that is a dead army from Protoss. And he lost a lot of gas units there, and he's still on 2 gases. And Zerg is even on supply now too, which is not a good sign for Protoss this late in the game. Zerg is going for a counter-attack here on the high ground. And Protoss is a bit out of position here, moving to the top of the map. And that is a lot of lurkers coming up. Those Protoss units have to run away. He's gonna have to try to defend his 4th base up to the left here, but that's gonna be really hard. Zerg is just swarming the Protoss here. Let's see where the Zerg decides to move in. Is it on the 3rd base or the 4th base of Protoss? I don't know if he's even scattered the 4th base of Protoss. Very nice Zealot drop coming in here. I like this, but Zerg is really prepared with these overlords around the map. I feel it's very hard to do these shuttle drops without a substantial amount of Corsairs constantly removing map vision from Protoss, killing those overlords. The Zerg player will see every shuttle coming in to his main base thanks to these overlords up there. Zerg does also take down the 4th base of Protoss in the top left. So Protoss decides to take the bottom expansion here instead, which is a bit easier to defend once you get it up, but then you're weak against counterattack because all your units are on the south of the maps. Lurk is going in. Zerg is really committing to this attack. These probes are all dead. Almost all of them. A few of them survive. And a handful of Lings get in into cancelling the 4th base, and that 3rd base is dead too. So Protoss is going to be on 2 bases against Zerg's 4 bases here. Zerg being up 30 supply too. Protoss is going to have to win with this attack. He does not have a single High Templar, or does he? It does not look like he has a lot of storms. He has 3 observers here, so he can see the lurkers. 2 High Templars coming into the left here. Let's see if he can pull this off. It's going to be extremely hard. Storms are going down. Zealots are dying. We have 7 Dragoons left, and that's going to be GG. So Envy.Bisu does lose to Misu. Not surprising, Misu has a lot of tournament experience in 2017, according to Liquipedia, and Bisu Envy does not seem to have as much experience. He doesn't seem to be as active. So Zerg is up 2-0 here. I don't really know how many games we are going to play here. Let's see. Okay, let's see who the Protoss player is here. I'm going to check that out real quick. It's either Snow or Horang. And it looks like it is Horang playing as the Protoss player here. I will confirm that in a second. Yes, we do have Horang playing here. He also has a lot of experience playing the qualifiers for ASL Season 4. He did lose 2-0 against Jaedong and 2-0 against Sky, so it doesn't look like he had too much success in the qualifiers. But I don't know, he might have gotten quite far before losing to Jaedong and Sky in the qualifiers. I don't really know how far he got. So this will be interesting to see if Horang can take down the Zerg, because the Protoss players desperately need a win here. And we are going to have Circuit Breaker here too, which is a very, very good map and usually tends to give us late game PvZs, which is very interesting to watch. A lot of action, a lot of micro-intensive units. For example, Reavers are used a lot late game. Very fun to watch. Defilers as well. A lot of Scourge, a lot of Speed Shuttles too, late game PvZ. Speed Shuttles are just nuts in this matchup late game. You can get so much damage with High Templar and DT drops if you have the APM to constantly move around that shuttle and drop and storm everywhere. If you watch Bisu play PvZ late game, he has shuttles everywhere, always getting successful DT and High Templar drops. And that is a big key to winning late game PvZ, is using those shuttles to disturb the Zerg economy. Zerg is getting... Zerg is getting his natural at the... very far away from his main base at another natural base, but that is usually where Zerg puts their third base, so it's not very uncommon to put your natural there first. He's probably going to get his third at his natural instead. So same in the end really. Protoss is going for a Nexus, he's opening Forge into Nexus, into Cannon, into Gateway, and probably Gas coming up here too. So very standard opening from both players here. Only that the Zerg player took his natural a bit farther away, but Protoss probably knows this already, because what else would he be spending those minerals on? He hasn't made a bunch of links, so that mineral has to be a hatchery somewhere, and you see Protoss, the Protoss probe is looking for that hatchery now. He's going to find it in the bottom right there. Zerg sees the Protoss as well, he knows what is going on. Neither of these players are going for any aggressive push here. The Zerg might just make a lot of lings once speed is done. That is always a threat. But it's very hard to break that wall on this map, because 3 Zealots block that wall entirely. So it's not a very Zergling rush friendly map. Hydra busts are okay on this map, especially in those positions they are at, because it's pretty close for those Hydras to route to that top left location. So that we might be seeing a Hydra bust here, but since the hatchery is placed in the bottom right location, it is very doubtful, because that will be a very long distance for the Hydras to run to the Protoss natural, so we're probably going to see a more economical game from both players here. Four lings are up in total, and the Protoss probe is still alive, scouting everything. He sees the lair, he sees the gas, he knows that the Zerg player is teching, and most likely going into the 5-hatch macro build here. So Protoss can comfortably tech up and macro too, getting his Stargate up here, very standard. The Overlord sees everything. Both players have great scouting on each other here, which is quite common in this matchup. It's very hard to deny scouting for both Zerg and Protoss. Those speed, Lings might have speed in a few seconds here, so the probe decides to retreat. And we can see that the Protoss player has only made 1 Zealot this far, which is quite a low amount of Zealots, and that's because he knows there's no pressure from the Zerg here, so he can spend his mineral on teching up instead of making early Zealots. You want to avoid making Zealots early on if you can, to get that tech up a bit earlier, get those upgrades a bit earlier too, and then later on when you put down a lot of gateways and speed lots are close to complete, you want to mass them up. And we are going to see gateways popping up here once that pylon is done, and possibly +1 attack after the first Corsair. The Protoss player here, Horang, has 200 gas. The Zerg is going for the Spire here, and the Zerg player is still on 1 gas here. The Zerg player being Misu. I'm really bad at calling these players by their names, I notice. I hope that will get better. But Misu here is still on 1 gas, so that Spire is only going to be used for Scourges at the moment. The first Corsair comes in here, and Horang has to be very careful about that Corsair getting hit by a Scourge in a few seconds. I think he's going to get this Overlord though, which is good. Another Corsair coming out, looking for more Overlords. Yep, retreating with that Corsair, expecting Scourges to be out any second. Misu might try to catch that Corsair though. There we see the first 4 Scourges coming out. Very standard to get 4 Scourges out. We see the hatches coming out, and he's taking a 4th base here, so he's got, I think, 6 hatches up in total, which is quite early to go for 6 hatches up here. But that fourth base is very secure in the bottom right here, thanks to Misu choosing to take that natural as his 3rd here. Very easy to get his 4th, and there's not a lot Protoss can do about this. One Corsair is being hit by that Scourge, so he's going to retreat. We see him flanking with 2 more Corsair, Scourges here. Is he going to hit? Most likely. He gets it. Very nice by Misu here. Misu's playing very, very good in these games. And he's getting down a few sunken colonies too. Protoss gets back with 1 Corsair. We see that. Oh, a lot of Zealots coming in here before the second sunken colony is done. There are no Lings here. Those Zealots are going to kill that sunken colonies. Though Lings are coming in here, but this is going to be really close. Very nice push from Orang here. And those Zealots seem to be taking down those Lings, and the second sunken colony might fall here. Those drones are dead. Wow, only 5 or 6 Zealots doing all that damage. I assume they have +1 attack already, since they kill those Lings so convincingly. I cannot see the upgrades, it seems. I don't know if his... Oh, there they are. He's got 0/0 upgrades. But those Zealots did a lot of damage. He does not kill any hatcheries, but he does force a lot of Lings, and he kills a lot of drones too. I think 4 or 5 drones. The Zerg responds with getting out his Mutalisks, but Protoss has Archons, Cannons, and Corsairs up already, so I think he's going to be fine. We see 4 Corsairs up there, with a 5th on the way. Probably, I think he was researching +1 attack for those Corsairs, so he's going to have +1 attack quite soon for those. Yeah, we see the Cyber core spinning up there. That was a very successful attack from Protoss, and I don't think Zerg saw it coming. That did a lot of damage. And this is the drawback of getting that early 6th hatchery in that 4th location is Zealots might do some damage because you're playing very greedy as the Zerg player, getting it that early. And we saw that Horang did take advantage of that very nicely. He's going to scout the Mutas here, but he's not going to be too afraid. He has a lot of anti-air. Very uncommon to go for that Archon early on, but he probably scattered those Mutas on the way with his Zealots and decided to morph an Archon, which is very smart. He's going to go for another attack here. And Zealots with 1 Archon can do a lot of damage, but Spine Crawlers, I mean Sunken Colonies, are a great response to... oh, a Corsair's doing a lot of damage here to the Overlords. 2 of them going down, though a 3rd might be going down to the Scourges here. I'm not sure if that was worth it for the Protoss, since Mutas are a threat. He needs to keep those Corsairs alive. He did get a few Overlords, but that's not too big of a deal for the Zerg. I think that was a good trade for Misu here. Sunken Colonies really counter Archons if you target them. But that is a bit tricky from the Zerg player. And we see him attacking the natural here, pulling back that Archon. Very nice. He knows that that Archon is going to be targeted, so he plays defensive with it, waiting for those Mutalisks. And that is a lot of Zealots. Here we go. Archon counters those Lings. Archon is going to go for those Mutas any second here. Drone drilling these Zealots. Very nice defense here from the Zerg, and this is very close. More Zealots coming down from the Protoss player though. And those Mutas are going to die to that Archon. Ah, that does so much damage, and they're all gone. Corsairs are out, but they lack the Muta support to attack the ground army here. Corsairs going down, but Zealots and Archons and High Templars coming into the natural here. All the Sunky colonies are down. That Archon might fall. Very nice micro pulling that back. It does fall, but he has a lot of Zealots here. 2 more High Templars probably got Storm. He's got his 3rd up, and that is going to be GG. So Protoss finally gets 1 win here and takes out Misu. Very nice play from Horang. Very nice timing attacks. 400 APM from both players here. That is just insane amount of APM. Very nice. Great players. Great play from both players there. Let's see which Protoss player gets to play the next game here. I mean, which Zerg player is going up? July, that has to be July Zerg. I'm going to check out if Liquipedia July Zerg, if he has played any tournaments lately. I guess they loaded the wrong map or something, restarting that. Let's see. July Zerg is a very old school player, and he's famous for his muta micro and his 2-hatch mutas. He was the best muta player in the world for a few years, if I remember correctly. I remember when I started watching StarCraft Brood War, July Zerg's muta micro was just on top of the world. Best muta micro in the world there for a bit of time, and Protoss and Terran players always struggled to survive those 2-hatch openings from July Zerg. So I wonder if he's going to go 2-hatch here too. It's not as common anymore. It's a bit cheesy to open 2-hatch tech in ZVT and CVP nowadays. It'll be interesting to see if July Zerg has adapted his play to the current meta, or if he's still trying out his aggressive play style here. He's always been a very aggressive player, and I cannot find any recent activity from July Zerg here on Liquipedia in accomplishments, but that might be because his earlier accomplishments are so good that they don't bother to mention the smaller ones. Because July Zerg, everyone knows who this player is if you've been following StarCraft Brood War. He won the OSL in 2008, which is just huge. Okay, very nice to see how good July Zerg is going to be now. Okay, we see a Forge opening here. On this map, it is quite common to open Gateway, but it is a bit risky. So, Horang deciding to play it safe here against July Zerg, which I think is a wise call. And we see aggressive openings here from July Zerg, just as he did in the old days here. Opening 9-pull gas, which is a very cheesy opening in ZVP. We don't see it too often. It does deny scouting from Protoss. Once you have Lings with speed, it is extremely hard for the Pro to get any scout on the Zerg. So that leads the Zerg to do a bit more cheesy stuff. He might follow this up with, for example, a Hydra Bust or a 2-base Muta, and it will be very hard for the Protoss to know what is coming. 6 Lings coming up, ignoring the scouting probe, going directly for the Protoss base. He does not know where the Protoss is yet, so he might send these to the bottom left, which will delay them a bit. He's splitting them up, 3 going to the bottom left, 3 going to the bottom right. Very smart. It looks like Horang will get these cannons up. 2 cannons up 2 is very standard in response to the 9-pull gas opening. You need a lot of cannons to defend those Lings once they have speed up. He sees 2 cannons, so he knows that either he has to make more Lings, or he has to clear that probe out and get a few drones. Because Protoss does have a lead in economy when Zerg opens up like this. And what is so good about this build, even though it's not very common, it was very common in the older days, is that the Protoss has a very, very hard time of scouting the Zerg, and the Zerg can either make 5 hatches and get a lot of drones, or he can just get 1 hatchery or 2 hatcheries in total and make a lot of Hydras, or he can go 2 hatcheries and tech up some Mutas or lurker drops or whatever he wants, and he's getting more gas here, so he's going to do something aggressive. He's going to tech up to something or get a Hydra list and get those Hydra upgrades up. And Protoss is forced to block his entrance with those probes because Speedlings, the Lings do have speed ready now, so running past that cannon wall is quite easy if you do not block it off as Protoss here. 3rd cannon going down as well. Horang is really scared of July Zerg doing something aggressive here, which is understandable. Is that Hydra then going to go down? There it is. We see the 3rd hatchery placed in the north location there, and I only think he's going to use that for Hydras. I do not think he's going to saturate that base. He does put it there in case of Protoss scouting that location. Protoss might be thinking, oh, okay, he's getting a 3rd base, nothing is wrong here, but he's probably going to use that just to produce aggressive units there. And if you do kill a lot of, let's say that let's say that July Zerg kills a lot of probes, but doesn't finish off the Protoss player, it is nice to have the hatchery at that third base location, so you can choose to go into an economical follow-up. That doesn't happen too much when the Hydra Bus is performed. Usually the game ends quite quickly, but sometimes it continues. Protoss is getting out a few Zealots here and getting his second gas too, and a Stargate. The Hydra Bust usually hits just as the Corsair is done, and Corsair Reaver is going to be coming up here. This is a very smart follow-up from Harang, because Reavers do very well against Hydras, and they come out earlier than High Templars with Storm do, so you have a bigger chance of defending this Hydra Bust. The Hydradine is upgrading here. He's getting a few drones, so this might not be an all-in pressure here from July Zerg. Just a small contain trying to pick off that forge and gateway. That is quite common too, to just make 5 or something Hydras and pick off those structures of the Protoss player, delaying that +1 attack and killing off a bit of production. Forces out a few cannons too. A 4th cannon going down. And we see 4 Hydras at this point, and it does not look like he's going to make any more Hydras. So a total of 5 Hydras were produced here from July Zerg, and he's following this up with drones. And the reason this is a good build order and also quite popular is that the Protoss has no idea if it's 5 Hydras or 15 Hydras on the way, so he has to make a lot of cannons. We see 7 cannons or 6 cannons going up in total here. And you don't need 6 cannons defending against 5 Hydras. This Corsair finally is out, and he's going to see that the Zerg is droning up here, so he cancels 2 of the cannons to get that Reaver out quicker. He's going to lose that Forge though, so he doesn't even bother starting the +1 upgrade. Probably has a second Forge going up in the main here. I'm a bit surprised that July Zerg is going to take this into a macro game. That tells me that July Zerg is actively playing and is comfortable taking this to a late game, especially against Harang, which is a very good Protoss player. So I'm happy to see that July Zerg thinks that he stands a chance late game. That means he might be playing in upcoming ASL qualifiers as well, if he's really at it again full time. Is that going to be a high ground cannon? High ground pylon going up. The first Reaver is out though, and Reaver Corsair is probably the hardest unit composition to pull off in StarCraft Brood War. You have so much minerals and gas in that shuttle, and you need so good Corsair control, but if you're good at this build order, it is insanely beautiful to watch. So I'm very pumped to see this this build order coming out here from Harang. And there are Zerg has a lot of different ways to defend against this Corsair Reaver. You can get Scourges out trying to pick off that shuttle. You can get Mutas out too. Muta Scourge is a quite common response against this, but it gets hard to use Muta Scourge once the Protoss gets a lot of Corsairs with +1 attack. So another common defense against this is to get a lot of Hydras with upgrades and burrow, and burrowing them around the Protoss natural for scouting purposes, and then having a lot of Hydras burrowed close to your minerals and then popping them up as the shuttle is above them to pick that off. And speed shuttle is done here, so we're going to see 2 Reavers most likely and a few Corsairs coming out. And the reason Protoss hasn't made more than 1 Corsair here is because he knows that the Zerg is on hatchery attack, so the hatchery tech, so he knows that there are no Scourges as a threat right now, but he's probably going to have to make more Corsairs as the Zerg techs up here. The first shuttle comes in here. July Zerg seems to know that he's coming, and that is a great Scarab going off, getting 3 or 4 drones already. Going into the main here. This is a bit risky, but I like it. Dropping a Zealot, so there's only 1 Reaver in there. Dropping that Reaver. That shuttle might go down here. It does survive, and he gets 2 Hydras with it. Going into the third here. Wow, he gets even more drones here, and he gets like 8 drones there and 4 in the natural, so 12 drones for that Reaver and that Seller. That is an extremely good trade here from Protoss, keeping that shuttle alive too. Safely going back to his natural to regenerate mana and pick up another Reaver most likely. The Protoss can opt to not make any Corsairs and stop going for that Reaver play. He does make Corsairs though, which is very nice, but he's also put up a lot of gateways, so he's going to have a lot of Zealots here. I think a push with Zealots, 2 Reavers and Corsairs against Julysurg here, after killing those drones, is going to be very, very strong, and I think that is what he's planning to do as well. Scourges are out though, so he might be able to pick off that shuttle with some good micro here. It seems like Hydra Scourge is going to be July's choice of defense here. That is a lot of Zealots coming out. He doesn't see the Zealots. Now he sees them, trying to block that ramp. That shuttle coming up too with a Reaver in it, dropping that Reaver. That is a very good hit from the Reaver here. Gets 2 Hydras and puts them in low HP. More Hydras are reinforcing, but they are going to have to go up that ramp, and that is going to be a bit tricky. Picking off a few Corsairs though. The drones are running to the natural. Shuttle is going into the main here. This is very chaotic from both players here. Hydras are in the totally wrong location. He's going to lose more drones here. Gets 4 or 5 drones with that one. Very nice Reaver micro from Harang here. Scourge is coming out. That's a dead shuttle. Yep. He gets that out though. Might pick off a few more drones. Does that hit anything? It doesn't look like it. Those drones are running away so fast. Trying to hide from that. These scarabs coming out. That might hit. Oh, that is 5 drones going down. That is huge. So many drones have been killed this game. And we see Harang already being up 40 supply. This is some great Reaver micro. This is extremely hard to pull off as a Protoss player, but with 400 APM, you can do it. Zealots roaming around the map here too. Looks like he's planning to take a 3rd base here, and it will be very hard for Julysurg to kill this 3rd base with that tight ramp leading up to it. And we see how few drones Julysurg is left with now. He does have a lot of hatcheries, so he can replenish those quite quickly, but he's going to be low on Hydras for a little bit while he does that. Hydras are pushing down to the 3rd though. He's going to try to take this, but put a Reaver up that ramp, and it's going to be extremely hard. And he has a lot of Zealots defending this too. Gets the cannon up. Hydra's forced to go down that ramp to create this funnel. But this is a close one. Julysurg might actually be able to get up this ramp. Zealots are getting low in numbers, retreating here. Where is the Reaver? Where is the AoE damage that is so necessary for the Protoss player? Julysurg is doing a great job. There it is, the Reaver is coming out. This is going to secure the 3rd base for now. More Zealots coming up too. Cannon is on the way, soon done. We see Julysurg is moving more units down here, but it's going to be very, very hard to do something for this. I would like Julysurg to get his 4th base to stay in a similar economy as the Protoss player here. Scourge is trying to pick up that shuttle. Very nice try there. Killing that shuttle off is pretty huge because the Reavers can barely move without that shuttle. So for example, if you have 2 Reavers at the 3rd base, you pick up the shuttle, you might be able to attack the natural of the Protoss since the Reavers are very far away. More Hydras coming in here, picking off the Zealots. Very nice micro from Julysurg. You can tell that he has been practicing a lot lately because he's playing very good. Considering he's playing against Harang with Reavers, which is very hard to defend. And I just love watching Julysurg play because he always does something aggressive, which is very entertaining to watch. 5 Corsairs at home here, waiting for maybe a muta switch here. Hiding Corsairs is quite common to force the Zerg out, to force the Zerg going in for some muta transition. The Zerg might think that there are no Corsairs and make a lot of mutas, and then 6 Corsairs with +1 show up. And that's not too fun for Zerg. Another Reaver going around. Drones are running away. Hydras might catch the shuttle though. Very nice reaction time from Harang. He's going to the High Templars, even better. Gets all the drones out of the natural. The shuttle goes down with the High Templars, but that is like 10 drones going down. Very nice drop here from Harang. Very nice shuttle control in this game. I mean, Julysurg is doing alright. He does have a lot of Hydras here. Moving out, and Protoss is going to have to retreat and play defensive for a bit here. It is very costly to make these Reavers and High Templars and go for harass with them. It does mean that your main army is a bit smaller here. And there is the muta switch July is going for, and July is not going to be happy when he finds those 5 or 6 Corsairs. So the tactic from Harang here, hiding those Corsairs for a bit, did work. And let's see if July can do anything with these mutas, because those mutas are very, very costly, and Zerg could have chosen to go for Lurkers instead, especially with that +2 range he has on those Hydras. Lurkers would be a very nice choice, but the Hydras might, the Mutalists might be able to pick off the High Templars here. July has insane muta control, one of the best muta controls in the world still today. And you can see he picks off a lot of High Templars, but Harang picking them up in the shuttle doing a great job too. I think 3 High Templars went down, but July does not have a lot of mutas left, only 2 left. I would say that was a very good trade for Harang, but it was okay for July too. Those High Templars are very valuable and very gas intensive. But where are the Corsairs from Harang? I do not see the Corsairs. Maybe July actually picked them off and I missed that. I have no idea where those Corsairs are. That shuttle is very close to being picked off. Has 2 Reavers in it. Very valuable. Hydra's flanking those Reavers though. So they are going to go down. And Protoss has no AoE left. He has 1 High Templar. But that is a lot of Hydras. July doing a great job here pushing back Harang. Insane macro and micro from July. That is a lot of Hydralisks. And those Protoss units are not going to cut it. A very nice storm coming in on those Hydras. But the Hydras are still high in number. Another High Templar coming up. Does it have storm? July is forced to retreat, but he did a lot of damage there. He's clawing himself back into this game. He's still on 3 bases though, but that is not surprising considering it's July playing. He doesn't like expanding, he likes to attack players. But he kind of has to take a 4th quite soon, I think, if he doesn't manage to break the Protoss. Very nice storm here, taking down 5 Hydralisks. Does he have any more storms? He has 2 more High Templars coming out. Those 2 are out of energy. But the other 2 has 74 energy, 75, so 2 storms are going to be available here. Let's see if they hit the Hydralisks. 1 storm is dodged. The second storm does quite a lot of damage, killing 4 or 5 Hydras, but that is a handful of Hydralisks left. The Archon going down. Protoss is low on units here, more Hydras coming down. It looks like July has decided to kind of go all in here, and it might actually work. A Reaver coming out, that is very, very important for Harang. Those High Templars have to wait a bit for Storm to come out, but that Scarab can immediately shoot. That Reaver can immediately shoot Scarabs. It only takes a few seconds to get that Scarab out. Protoss has mined out his main and natural. That shuttle going down. That is huge. That is very nice. July is playing extremely well. Just making pure Hydra Muta. Very aggressive units. Very July-esque play here, and if he wins this, it's going to be an epic win for July. That Reaver is doing so much. 7 kills on that already, and that's pure Hydras. Give that 11 kills. 4 Scarabs generate 11 Hydras. That is value if I've seen it. And second Reaver coming out here. Looks like Protoss has been able to defend that for the time being, and July is on 60 supply against 115. It doesn't mean that the game is over, but it does mean that it's going to be hard for him to put any pressure on. And July is still getting out Hydras here, not taking a 4th base. The Protoss is even taking a 4th base before the Zerg here, or it looks like he's attempting to. July does have very good map control, so he sees that the pylon is up there most likely. He's going into the 3rd base here, and there's nothing but 3 cannons defending this. A lot of probes can go down here, and this is the only mining base here for Protoss. Since Zerg has less drones in general, and he lost a lot of drones, you can see that the Zerg player still has minerals in his main and his natural and his 3rd, so he's currently mining from more mineral patches than the Protoss player until he gets his 4th base up. Dodging that storm is very nice. We see 2 Dragoons here, 3 Dragoons, and 1 Zealot. The storms are going to have to be very good. Don't storm your observers, Harang. Those are important in case July gets Lurkers. 2 observers going down, but so does the Hydralisks. So he manages to defend that, but that was quite close. A lot of High Templars coming out, and that is the result of Protoss having 3 gases and 1 base with minerals. He has to make a lot of gas units with the lack of minerals here. He doesn't even have minerals to put that 4th base up currently. He has to make Zealots to defend against the aggressive play from Julysoak here, still on lair. But he does have good Hydra upgrades though, so these Hydras are very strong. Getting a few mutas, or are those the same two mutas from earlier, I believe. Going in there to see if he can find anything. Taking out this 4th pylon here, so Protoss is still on 1 mining base. The Zerg is getting low minerals on his 3rd base, but he's still doing alright. And we can see Julysoak catching up in supply 2 here with 370 APM currently, so he's on top of his game, very fast, doing a lot of stuff at the same time here. And Horang has not been able to put any shuttle pressure on lately, so Zerg economy is building up again. It was a long time ago, there was some time since Protoss did any damage to those drones. Protoss deciding to push out, but I think this is a huge mistake because Zerg has a lot of Hydras, and Hydras have 1 supply each. So even though Julysoak is only on 100 supply, that is probably a lot of Hydras coming out. 2 Reavers and a lot of Storms here, and he's put himself in a nice corner trying to get this 4th base up. But this is going to be a chance for Julysoak to get a lot of damage on here. Pushing out with the Hydras, but those Storms are insane, and he's got a very nice concave here. A very nice defensive location, but those Hydras are just pressuring the meta here. Storms seem to be out. 1 more Storm, and Protoss actually manages to defend this. Those Storms were so valuable, and that Reaver is on 1 HP, so Horang pulling off some insane micro here. That Nexus is halfway done, but reinforcement from the Zerg here might be able to continue the pressure. But we see a lot of Dragoons here, and an Archon, and more High Templars coming out, so both players keep on making units here. And Protoss has too many probes in that 3rd base. He really wants to transfer that to his new 4th here. Will the Zerg player allow him? Julysoak can attack the 3rd base of the Protoss here, trying to take out those probes. Those are a few probes transferring, but that is just a low number, about 5 or 6 probe transferring. That is not enough to saturate that 4th base. So Julysoak maybe trying to pick off some transferring probes here with those Hydras placed close to that 3rd. High Templars are a bit out of position, but he comes back to defend them with his Dragoons. I really like the unit composition here from Horang. Julysoak going in with his Hydras here, but getting stormed, so backing off. But he has a very nice flank going here. Will he be able to take down the Protoss players here? Only Dragoons and High Templars left. This is a very close battle. A lot of Storms going down. Zerg is retreating. All the Hydras but 3 are dead. More Lings and Hydras coming in though. We don't see any Protoss reinforcements. So Julysoak might actually be able to break this. So many Storms though, going down on those Hydras. A lot of Zealots out, which is great against defending against a low amount of Hydras. So I think Horang will be able to defend this with these Zealots coming up here. GG from Julysoak. What a game. Very micro intensive, which is expected when Julysoak is playing. That was a very nice game. So Protoss has 2 and I think Zerg has 2, right? I think he just hasn't updated the score table there, but it should be 2-2 right now. So let's see who the next Zerg player will be to try to beat Horang. Oh, it's Gladiator 2, which is slightly Protoss favored, I believe, but it is a very interesting map with a lot of high grounds and low grounds. Also, your main is on a low ground, and we seem to have some connection issues here, so they're most likely going to restart that game. Here we go. Let's find out who the Zerg player is. It is either Hyuk or Soma playing as the Zerg. And his ID seems to be Sangnam2, so let's check out who this is. It seems to be Shuck. They send it out for the Zerg player. And he's also a very old Brood War player, old school Brood War player. He played for SK Telecom back in the day. He's currently playing in amateur leagues, it says. He doesn't have too many accomplishments in the StarCraft history, but he's a very known player. He's been around for a long time and he's always competed in the professional level. So he's a very, very good Protoss player, but he's no Bisu Stork or top-notch Protoss player like that, but he's still very, very good. Oh my god, he's a Zerg player, my bad. But he's very known in the StarCraft community, but he's never really had great success, I believe, but I don't know very much about this player. He started his career in 2006 in SK Telecom, that's about it, what I know. He's played a lot of StarCraft, let's end it at that, so he has a lot of experience. Looks like he's opening for a pull first into hatch here, without the gas. Very standard Zerg opening here. And it looks like Horang is going for the Forge opening too, which is also very common. Gateway openings are very good on this map too. We've seen a lot of gateway openings lately. Squeezing out the Nexus before the cannon here is crucial for the Protoss economy, because that means you can skip the second pylon and use the Nexus as the second pylon instead if you'd like. You have to cut a few probes to use the Nexus as the second cannon, but that means you can get your tech up a bit earlier. We see he's 12 out of 17 supply, so he can still make 5 probes before that Nexus finishes. So he probably only has to cut maximum 1 probe. Gateway going down too, probably going to see a gas follow up here. Let's see if he gets the second pylon down, or if he goes directly into a cybernetics core later. Looks like he's getting the second pylon down. Gives you more, it's quite inconvenient to put your cyber core at the natural pylon there. You want to put cannons and other stuff there, so the cybernetics core takes up unnecessary space at a crucial location. So that is probably why he's opting to get his second pylon in the main, and also to be able to have constant pro production. And it looks like the Zerg has taken 3 bases and a gas here as well. Very standard openings here from both players, wanting to take it into a macro game here. And we have 2-2 currently between the Zerg and the Protoss, so this is a very close series between the two races. I myself am a former Protoss player, so I'm rooting for Protoss here. I'm a bit biased, I'm not gonna lie. I would have liked July Zerg to win the last game though, because I just love watching July Zerg play. He's just so interesting to watch. I haven't watched a lot of games from Horang though, so I don't know much about him, but I know he's very, very good. And he had a lot of accomplishment on Liquipedia lately, so he is a force to be reckoned with. He's trying to qualify to ASL as well, as I said earlier, in Season 4, so he is up there. Very active player. A second gas going down quite early here too tells us that he wants to get his gas intensive units up. You can opt as a Protoss player to stay on 1 gas and go for some Zealot timing if you'd like, but it is a bit cheesy, and it's very easy to defend these Zealot timings if you have nice sim cities as the Zerg player, and drone drills can really screw up that Zealot micro. So playing safe here, probably going to get Corsairs up and upgrades and High Templars and all that, DTs. Spire going up from the Zerg. He's staying on 1 gas currently, so those are going to be used for Scourges to defend the Corsairs coming out. A lot of Lings though. He's going to try to bust this. Has a probe placed there, very nice, and a pylon to... Oh, that is not a tight wall. Lings get in. He can kill a few probes here. The Protoss does have 2 Zealots, so he can clean this up eventually, but this is very annoying. Forcing those probes to stop what they're doing and move around a lot. He also gets a full-on scout here. Protoss is putting down a cannon here to try to defend these Lings. He's going to try to surround that Zealot. Zealots are microing very well, going into tight chokes like that. Doesn't look like the Zerg is focusing on these Lings too much, loses a lot of Lings, and the other two are going to die too. So very nice defense here from Protoss. He doesn't lose a single probe, I don't think, maybe one. Shuck is getting his hatcheries up as well, going for 5 hatcheries in total, I believe, just getting more drones right now. He's going to have to defend against these Corsairs, picking up these Overlords. It was unfortunate that those Lings squeezed in, because that was a very nice wall, utilizing that pylon there to create even a smaller choke. But it's very hard to keep those walls tight, because Lings are so small, they kind of squeeze through everything. At least that's what it feels like when you play Protoss. Those Lings always get through the wall somewhere. Is that Corsair going to make it home? It looks like it's safe. Scourges are turning around. Gateways are coming up here as well. Probably getting +1 attack and Zealot speed. It does not look like he's upgrading air attack right now. The Zerg player is actually taking a second gas here, so are those Mutalisks? Are Mutas going to be on the way, or is it just for upgrades? The Zerg player, Shuck, can choose to go into Mutalisks here if he saves up a bit gas. We can see he already has 800 minerals and 800 gas, so it looks like he wants to make a flock of Mutalisks here. He has supply to make 10 Mutas if he wants to. It looks like he made a lot of Mutas because his gas just disappeared. 1 DT is out too. And DTs are good against Muta openings because you delay that overload speed a bit. So if you can find yourself, for example, the DT might be able to run through the natural here, there is no sunken colony, and get to the main. Protoss does have 5 Corsairs out. Probably upgrading +1, so he does have anti-air out, but Scourges take out one of those Corsairs directly. Looks like the DT is going to get killed here from the Lings, or it might actually be able to survive. It does look like the DT gets taken down in the last possible second. So very well done here from Shuck. Did Protoss see the Mutalisks though? A lot of Mutas and a lot of Scourges coming out. Will he pick off another one? Wow. 3 Corsairs are left, and 3 Corsairs are not enough to deal with 10 Mutas and 4 Scourges. I don't think he knows this is coming. This is going to be extremely hard for the Protoss player to defend. Only 1 cannon. Those High Templars do not have Storm yet, I don't believe. Does he pick off those High Templars? Oh, he does have Storm on the High Templars. He does get an okay Storm off, but he loses. Did he? Oh, these actually survived those High Templars. Very nice. He does have 1 Storm left, I believe. Waiting for that Corsair to come out. Does totally whiff that Storm. But those Mutalisks are quite low now. Corsairs are retreating when those Scourges come in. Picks off another High Templar here. Very low HP on those Mutas, but they are all alive still. But they're in the red, deep red HP. Or purple HP. Very low at least. Zealots trying to counterattack, but Sunken Colonies and Lings are ready for this. Corsairs are taking the battle here. The Mutas dying because they were so low HP. Only 5 Mutas, I think, surviving. So Protoss did hold that, but he did lose a few probes and High Templars. So I would say that was good for Shuck. A lot of Corsairs have been going down this game too, Scourges as well. And those Corsairs are quite expensive. Zealot speed seems to be done, and he has 4 Zealots right now. So with the next round of Zealots coming out, he might be able to put some pressure on. Looks like this Shuck got a lot more Mutas out, so yeah, he's still making Mutalisks. So we are going to see even more Muta Scourge action versus Corsairs here. The Corsairs are moving out, probably not expecting more Mutas. Oh, that is the Zealots, my bad. That's good. A probe is going to try to take the 3rd base here. These Zealots will be trying to do some damage here, but the Shaq has a lot of Lings defending that fourth base of his here. Zealot's trying to go into the natural, but sees the sunken colonies. They are in deep red. They are most likely going to go down by these speed Lings here. Or the Mutalisks seem to catch up to them, so they go down. More hatcheries going down from Shaq as well here. Finally, the third Nexus is going up. Those High Templars are in huge risk of going down if the Corsairs are not close to them, and it looks like the Corsairs are in the main base currently. Zerg player is going into more Hydra Ling here. Hydras are very strong with Mutalisks. Picking off these High Templars and then attacking with the Hydras is very common. A lot of Scourges here too, so the Corsairs have to be really careful going in for this. Trying to storm, but Zerg sees that and backs off. Oh, that is very nice storms. Very nice storms here from Protoss. Doesn't lose anything. Morphs an Archon too. That's going to be some nice anti-air. But that is a lot of Hydra Ling. And these professional players are so good at macroing out these Hydras and Lings. They get a lot of units. It's going to be very hard for Protoss to defend that third base, since it is on the low ground too. We're probably going to see some pressure from Shaq coming up any minute with all those Hydras. Alternatively, he's going to opt going into Lurkers and play a bit more defensive style. Like, for example, Lava likes to play very defensively in CVP. Just get 4 bases and turtle up with Sunkens and Lurkers, and it's very hard for Protoss players to break that, but it looks like Shaq is opting for a more aggressive play similar to Jadonk's CVP, which I prefer watching, since it is very aggressive with a lot of Hydra micro. But it is very nice watching Lava play too, because he never loses. It feels like he just defends, and that gets to the late game and overpowers the Protoss player. We're going to see actually Horang moving out here, backing off when he sees the amount of Hydras here. Very wise decision here. Muta's trying to pick off a few Zealots. Archon gets a hit off. That is pretty huge, because they deal a lot of damage, like 30 or 40 to those Mutas, with splash damage too. Protoss does have his observatory up, so he's gonna have a decent map control and being able to scout those Lurkers when they presumably come out. If Shaq decides to go Lurkers here, you don't have to make Lurkers against Protoss, but it is generally quite good with combined with Hydralisks. Protoss is getting his 4th up here. Corsairs are doing a lot of damage to those Mutalisks. Does that Scourge here? It doesn't look like it's going to hit. Oh, maybe it does. Oh. Going to that cannon is going to deter those Scourges from doing anything. I think maybe one of them hit, but none of the Corsairs go down. That is the Mutas gone. But the Mutas did quite a lot of damage anyways, forced a lot of Archons and Corsairs. Corsairs and Archons are good units, but not against mass Hydras. And that is why Mutalisk and Hydras go very good hand in hand, because very different Protoss unit counter Hydras than what counters Mutalisks. These Corsairs give Horang the opportunity for some successful shuttle drops though, being able to deny vision from Zerg, picking off lone overlords all over the map. Looks like Shaq is finally going to move out with these Hydras, attacking in the high ground location of the Protoss here. So Protoss has a very nice location to defend this. Let's see where those storms are at. That is a lot of Hydras. And it doesn't look like the Protoss has too many High Templars in position. Maybe they're at his 4th base. He has a few more storms, and those storms are doing a lot of damage. The Zerg play does not have an Overlord with this, so he cannot pick off the Observer, which is unfortunate because there's only one Observer out. This is a very close battle though. More Lings and Hydras coming in. Oh, it looks like the Zerg has actually pushed back the Protoss here. He might get that high ground advantage, but no, Protoss is pushing back Shaq with his reinforcement here. Zealot's doing very good. More Hydras coming in. Another Lurker coming in. Will we see Overlords join this too? A few Mutas randomly appearing too. Corsairs are idling in that bottom right. I will see the Corsairs coming up here to pick off eventual Overlords coming up. That is a very, very good storm. That picks off everything the Zerg has at that location currently. More units coming up, but this is a close and very nice defense here from Horang. He's getting probes to his 4th base here, so they're going to be on equal amount of bases here. So Zerg should probably get that 5th base going. It looks like he's sending a drone to his 5th base right now. popping it up in the left over there. Is that a drone? I believe it is a drone. Very nice defense here from Harang. 3 Evo chambers, and there is a drone. Both of them have a lot of minerals, so that hatchery should be going down any second here. More hatcheries going down. Probably seeing Hive Tech from Zerg here very soon, if it's not already on the way. He's going to try to pressure that third location of Protoss again here with Hydras. Nice, he has a lot of cannons up there too now. So that fourth location is quite secured here from Protoss. And Protoss on 4 bases is very strong. That means they can get out Reavers and speed shuttles and whatnot, and more gas intensive units, which are very good for Protoss. Finally, the 5th base of Zerg is up here too. And currently the Zerg has 1-1 upgrades on his slings, probably 2-1 on his Hydras, and Protoss is probably on 3-0 or 2-1 himself, so close in upgrades here for both players. As expected. A lot of gateways going down here when that 4th base economy kicks in. I hope we see the robotics support bay coming up here too, to get out those Reavers and speed shuttles. Protoss sees the 5th hatchery location coming up here. And when Zerg gets 5 to 6 bases, they are spread out quite thin, so these shuttle have high potential of doing some insane damage against the drones. Especially if you drop high Templars and get those storms off, or DTs in the main can be quite powerful too. A DT scouts where the units of the Zerg is, so the Protoss moves his units to the top left too here. Looks like Harang wants to put on some pressure here. He's closing out to max supply. He's going for his own 5th base here, sending a DT up here. This is very nice done by Harang. Killing off a few drones, forcing Chuck to retreat with his Mutalisks to take this out, or his Hydralisks rather. Gives the opportunity for Protoss to move in a bit closer here with his maxed out push against a 150 Zerg here. Where are the lurkers from the Zerg? Maybe he doesn't need any lurkers. More Dragoons coming in though. Protoss is backing off to the high ground location here. Looks like he's almost out of storms, but the Protoss has to retreat. There are the lurkers on the high ground here. So both of them really want to take map control here to assure their expansions, their 5th base expansions. And that is what I really like about this map, is those high ground areas. It gives you a very big reason to take map control to get that high ground position, especially if you see this map Terran versus Terran. It can get quite insanely hard to try to push these high ground advantages with tanks against tanks. And similar goes with the Protoss trying to push lurkers with Dragoons against those high ground positions. It's very hard. Oh my god, he has to cancel everything. Where is the Protoss army? He moved out of position and got the other 5th base, trying to go for the south here. That is a very nice storm, but that is a lot of lings, probably with crack upgrade too. Looks like the Zerglings are attacking quite fast. I do not know if they have crack upgrade right yet, or adrenaline upgrade I think it's called. A lot of more storms coming in here. We do not see a lot of Archons here, only 1 Archon against these mass lings here. Lurk is coming to flank here. We might see a flanked Protoss army here, and losing everything here would be a disaster for Harang. Looks like he's saving these Dragoons for now, getting off very nice storms. Those lurkers are clumped. If he stormed those lurkers, that would be insane. Getting 6 or 7 lurkers with 2 storms there was the potential. Only a handful of Dragoons surviving. He has more lings, but the 5th base of Protoss here might be a bit vulnerable after losing all those units. Maybe Zerg will opt to take the upper left location now, taking down the Protoss 5th and securing that that location currently with a few lings. Would be a great position for the Zerg to expand. Also the bottom right is quite viable too. Protoss is currently mining from only his 4th base, while Zerg has a bit more minerals left in each expansion here. So Protoss desperately needs to transfer his probe to that 5th base location. It looks like Chuck is sending in a lot of units, going to go for the heart of Protoss, just going for his natural here. putting down Lurkers on the high ground advantage. Let's see what happens here. Those are a lot of High Templars. Are they going to survive? Those are crucial in defending this attack. Looks like he's going to lose that Nexus, but there's no use for that Nexus anymore, so that doesn't really matter. And Hwoarang defends his High Templars here, so Shuck does not get too much done with that attack. And Hwoarang is defending, is securing his 5th base location again in the bottom right or right location there with a few cannons. So this is still a very close game here. Expecting a 6th base for the Zerg to come up. Gateway's going down at the 5th as well. Getting a few High Templars and DTs out is very strong at the at your expansions. Defilers are going to be on the way to Consumer. Consume is probably being upgraded right now. And Dark Swarm with Cracklings can really take down expansions. That's why you as a Protoss player want DTs, High Templars and Reavers defending those expansions with the cannons to deter that Dark Swarm from being as powerful as it would be. Cannons do 0 damage under Dark Swarm, so you really need something else to buffer that. Looks like Hwoarang is going roaming around the map, just trying to find Zerg units out of position and defending his 5th location from any attack here. Trying to stay on high ground now. He's moving his army to the north here, and Zerg is moving his army to the south. Is he going to secure the bottom right for a 5th or a 6th expansion here? Or is Shuck going to opt for an attack here? He has got a lot of Lings and Lurkers here. 160 supply Zerg is very, very scary. A maxed out Zerg is probably the scariest thing in this game. Their units are generally quite low supply. A Zealot is as much supply as a Lurker, for example. Hydras are half the supply of a Zealot as well, so Zerg can get out a lot of units on 200 supply. And Protoss does have his speed shuttle out now, so I'm expecting Reavers to join the battle very soon. And Reavers are very good because they outrange Lurkers and gives Protoss kind of a siege possibility, similar to how Terran can use siege tanks. A lot of Lings are streaming in here, and that is not a lot of Protoss units. He's going to have incredible storms, which he's having currently, to kill off those Lings. He's retreating here, storming the units, coming in slightly in a funnel here. A lot of Lings going down, very cost efficient from the Protoss, but he does not have a lot of storms left. Only Dragoons, which are very weak against crack upgraded Lings. He has to retreat here, and the Protoss 5th expansion is quite vulnerable right now, and Zerg is getting his 6th base too now, so I think Shuck is doing a great job currently. It looks like Hwoarang is going to defend that high ground. 2 Reavers are out as well. 2 Reavers are going to be very important for Protoss to defend those expansions or high ground positions. Hwoarang is going to scout that 6th base now, and we're going to have a lot of action in the south location of the base here. 3-3 upgrade for those Lurkers, probably 3-3 for the Lings too. I would assume Protoss is on 3-3 or 3-2 at least as well. Protoss going down here, where I want to see the shuttle with the 2 Reavers here as well, because there are going to be a lot of Lings coming down. The Protoss army is slightly out of position here. Looks like Shuck wants to attack that 5th base with Dark Swarm and Lings, or not. He's going for the army rather. That's a very nice Plague going down, also very nice Storms, but that is a cost efficient trade for the Zerg, only trading Zerglings there. Dark Swarm going down. There are probably 2 Reavers in that shuttle as well. Those 3 Defilers have to watch out. 1 going down already. Everything in the Protoss arsenal is almost plagued here, and he might get flanked, the Protoss player here. Lurk is coming from the right, and Lings are coming from the north here, and it looks like only a handful of High Templars and Reavers are alive. Is that shuttle going to survive? It's on very low HP. The only thing surviving there are the 2 Reavers, which is quite valuable, but that shuttle is in risk of going down if he doesn't go home directly here. He's going to get a few drones here, which is very nice. But he does not want to lose those 2 Reavers, and those Scourges might take out that shuttle. He has to fly very fast. He drops 1 Reaver off. I don't know why really. Maybe to kill off a few more drones, but Lings are going to take that down quite convincingly. I don't know if the shuttle survived. I would assume it survived. And Protoss still has a few units out, but the Zerg is getting quite ahead, I would say. Especially since Protoss lost all his units to a handful of Lings and Plague and Dark Swarm, so that was a very cost-efficient trade from the Zerg. Losing more High Templars and the shuttle over there doesn't get anything but a few Lings. This unit composition from Zerg is very cost-efficient, and you need a lot of gas-intensive units as a Protoss to defend against this. A lot of Zealots are good, but they're not really going to do too well against Lurker Ling here. Where are the Lings to defend these Lurkers? The Lings are out of position, so these Lurkers might actually go down. And once the Lurkers go down, the Zealots become very, very strong in numbers. There are a lot of Zerglings coming down. More Zealots, more Lurkers morphing here. So Zealot has to Protoss has to kind of retreat here. We've seen a lot of small skirmishes in this game. Very, very nice battles to watch. A lot of battles as well. This is what I want to see in a PvZ. Late game PvZ is a lot of action. I would like to see more shuttle High Templar drops here from Harang. We haven't seen too many storm drops on the drones. Maybe he's going for that right now. High Templars should be coming out. Our Reaver is coming out. Does he get that Scarab off? He gets 3 drones. Oh, that's a lot of Lings. More drones might go down here. 3 more drones going down. Shuttle has to fly really fast, but that was a very nice shuttle drop. Gets 6 drones and quite a few Lings too. We finally see Protoss getting more gas-intensive units, getting a few Archons now with DTs and High Templars too. Saving that shuttle. That shuttle has been alive for a long, long time. So very nice shuttle micro here. And Protoss is trying to get a 6th base up there, but the Zerg player scouts that with an Overlord, and there are no Protoss units to defend that. So a handful of Lings sent up there will deny that base for now. I think Protoss might opt to take out the 6th base of Zerg rather than trying to expand to the top left there. Since the Protoss can kind of attack the 6th base of Zerg and defend his 5th base, that is a lot of Lings, and they are surrounding that Protoss army. Archons do a lot of damage, so does Storm. So the Lings are going to go down. Very nice micro from Protoss, but he doesn't have a lot of units left here. But neither does the Zerg player. This is a very, very close game. Harang is doing a great job holding on to his bases, I gotta say. Oh, shuttle finally goes down. He drops down the Reavers though, but those might be now vulnerable to a Ling attack here. Oh, those Reavers really don't want to fall. He gets a lot of Lings with it though. One of them currently survives. Reinforcement coming in from the Protoss player here. He might actually have a chance here to break the 6th base. Lurkers are very few in numbers right now. Surrounding those Lurkers, very nice. Storming the other Lurker, and that's all the defense the Zerg has at that base now, so the 6th base might be going down. Both of these players are on very low economy, but we see now that the Zerg is on 75 supply to Protoss 150 supply. I'm very surprised that Harang managed to do such a great job in this game. I thought he was close to being dead actually. And a probe going down, probably going to take this lower right main base and try to secure this location to get some more mining going. And Zerg is down to 60 supply now. Pylon going down here. Very well played from Harang this game. extremely good storms throughout this game. What is Shuck going to do here? Is he going to... He looks like he's going for the bottom location here with the Lings, but that is a lot of Zealots. A lot of Zealots. He has 4 Lings here, might be able to take out that probe and delay that Nexus a bit. Two cannons going down. More Lings flooding down here. Shuck knows he has to deny this expansion from Protoss. But it is going to be hard when he's 46 supply against 140 here. And Shuck is still at 380 APM, which is very, very high. It seems that Shuck only has Zerglings at the time being now. Zerglings and drones, and that's going to be it. GG. What a game. Very, very close. Intense game. Very nice. So Protoss is up now. Zerg only has 1 player left. And who is that? The last player from Zerg is Soma. Let's check out who that is. Also, I just want to say that Liquipedia, what a great website, keeping a lot of data on these players, very helpful. He's quite young, he's 22 years old. And it looks like Soma has only played in Sonic events. And he failed to pass the first group stage, so I'm not really sure. I'm not too sure. He's a pro gamer from South Korea. He's currently playing in amateur league, so I don't think we should expect too much from Soma here. But let's see. He's up against Horang again here, and Horang has shown very, very well play here from throughout this series. So, and it looks like Horang actually has a three killing streak now. That is probably what the data in the upper left corner is telling us. That he's killed 3 Zergs in a row here. 3 wins, 0 losses for Horang. Mighty get an old kill here, killing Soma. Soma is opting for the 9 pool opening here. And this is Colosseum. This is a very old map. It was very, very popular back in the GOM TV days. I don't know which year it was. Maybe it was 2010 or something like that. This map was played a lot. I really enjoyed playing this map back in the days as well, so I'm happy we see it here in the tournament. And there is this cool, you see there's creep close to the Protoss and Zerg exits there, and Zerg can actually put a creep colony there and go for some early rush if they'd like. And we can see that with the 9 pool here. He's getting a hatchery, so it's not very likely. He's got 3 lava here, 2 lava. Looks like he's making 1 Zergling at the start here. Is he going to get more Lings or drones here? It's very easy for the Protoss to block off this choke as well here with the Forge and the Gateway. And quite common from Zerg is to make Hydras on this map, because you can kill that Forge from a high ground location there, just a little south of the Forge. 2 Lings are on the way. Zerg is going to get his 3rd base here too. 4 Lings on the way. That cannon might actually not be done, and that drone is doing a lot of damage to that cannon. You probably cut half of the health of that cannon for the time being. And Lings are going to be there before the cannon is done. Is Soma going to... Looks like the cannon just finishes, but 1 Ling should get in there. With very low HP though. Loses a Ling there, that's unfortunate. And that Ling goes down. A valiant effort from Soma there. Very close defense from Horang. That could have gone either way really. A bit unfortunate that he only made 2 Lings at the start. Imagine if that was 6 Zerglings. He would have been able to kill that cannon. Zerg is getting his gas up now with his 3rd base, so he's going to go for some tech here. Let's see if he goes for the Hydras out early to kill off that Forge and I think he can kill that gateway from the high ground location too, especially if you get range on those Hydras. Corsair Reaver is quite common on this map too. Due to the geometry of the expansions, it's quite easy to move around, especially to the natural of the Zerg from the Protoss there. It's quite close air distance and it takes a while for the Zerg units to get up there. I know opening Reavers against Protoss, against Terran on this map is very common. Oh, Horang does not scout those Lings, and that cannon is gonna go down. He's got a lot of Lings here, and they are still slow Lings, but that is a lot of Lings. And Protoss only has one Zealot to defend against, what is that, 10 or 12 Zerglings. And that is going to be a very hard thing to defend against. He's doing very nice zoning here with the probes. And surrounding that Zealot, so that's going to be going down, or not, he saves it. Very nice probe micro from Horang. This is a very close battle, and Horang is doing a great job with his probes. Awesome probe micro from him here. More Zerglings rallying up though, and there's no cannon on the way. Cannon has to be put down ASAP, but he does not have minerals for it currently. He lacks 14 minerals to get that cannon out. 2 Zealots or 3 are out though, so that is, he can block off that choke a little bit. There goes the cannon. One Zergling gets in there. More Zerglings have been produced here. Ling speed is probably on the way too. That is a lot of Zerglings. He's probably going to go for it now before the cannon is done. It looks like Horang is going to defend this right now with extremely nice probe micro. Oh, one Zergling gets in there. Suma is kind of all in here. He's constantly making Lings. Only one Zealot left. The Zealot dies. 4 probes defending that. 3 probes, 2 probes. Zergs are going to get in. Will that cannon fall? And it looks like Soma has actually broken the Protoss. There is nothing left. One Zealot is out. So many probes going down. Will Horang's probe micro be as good as it was defending the first attack here? Only 5 Lings surviving, going into the natural. More probes are going down. A cannon is going up. We have 2 Zealots out, but so many probes are going down now. A bit of a miss micro from Horang, but he's done a very good job with his probes. GG. Soma gets Horang there. A slightly delayed cannon promoted that all in from Soma there. Very nice, and this is going to be our last game here, and it is going to be Soma against... Who is the last Protoss player? I think Snow is the last Protoss player here. So let's go into the last game here. I'm just going to confirm that this is Snow playing. And yes, this... Oh, is it Snow though? I think this is Snow playing. I'm pretty sure it is Snow. Let's see who Snow is. He did play in the Danjing Star League Season 1, which was December of 2017, beating Mong 3-0. And that beating Mong 3-0 is very, very huge. Mong is a great Terran player. Mong is top 8 Terrans in the world, for sure. He's always in the ASL fighting. Mong is. So I expect a very good game here from Snow, and I expect Snow to take this against Soma, since Soma seems to be a semi-retired Brood War player, not being as active and not having as much experience as Snow has. Snow has played in CJ Entus in 5 years, so he has tons of experience playing StarCraft Brood War. And this is an interesting map. I do not know what map this is. It's always fun to see new maps out there, see what strategies they promote. Delaying that hatchery a little bit. We see a 9 pull from Zerg here, trying to get that hatch down. Very nice probe micro here, blocking that. And this just shows Snow experience here. Very nice probe micro. You can tell he's been doing this for a long time. Is that probe going to go down to that drone though? Very nice drone micro. 2 more hits on that probe and it's going to go down. You can see that Soma has 470 minerals right now. Getting that hatchery down finally at his 3rd base location. Cancelling that pylon. Snow just got down his Nexus and he got his cannon before. So that cannon is going to be done for when the links come out. And 4 links coming out from the Zerg here. Quite standard getting 4 links out. 6 is a bit much. Is that a second cannon or is that... It looks like it's a second cannon going down from Snow here. Playing very safe. He probably wants to take this to late game, knowing that he is the stronger player here. Might be expecting some sort of link pressure or whatnot from the Zerg here. Wants to play safe. And thanks to that second cannon being there, he doesn't have to use any probes to block that entrance. He knows that the Lings do not have speed yet. And I'm going to be right back in 1 minute. I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. What have I missed? It looks like we have a standard Stargate opening from the Protoss player here. And I expect Snow to play very standard. Soma has got his 3 hatches with a Spire going up. Let's see if he goes for mutas here, if he puts down that second gas or not. Because going for mutas is a bit cheesy, but it can also work out. And I feel like Soma might have to take some risk here. But we see, is that double Stargate coming down? Yes, it is. I have no experience on this map, so I don't know if double Stargate is good on this map. But double Stargate is very good in general. He's getting that +1 for Corsairs too. Double Stargate is also quite a hard build to pull off. You need to be very active with those Corsairs, and that requires a lot of micro. I think this is a very interesting build to watch and observe as well. It's just fun to watch a lot of Corsairs with +1 upgrade, killing everything in a second. They just deal so much damage. And we see here a second gas going down, and Lava's being... Lava is being idling, so he might be popping out mutas here actually. We do not see that many hatcheries. We don't see a Hydrodome from the Zerg either, it looks like, so he might be going air units here. And you do not really want to open Mutalisks against this. You do want to get a few Scourges out to try to kill the Corsairs before they get too high in numbers. But Mutalisks are a bit tough against those Corsairs. He does have mutas coming out. Soma is going to have to pull out some really good micro here. 4 hatch Hydras is what he's going for here. It looks like he has a 5th hatchery as well now, so he's going to get a lot of hatcheries to get a higher economy too. And now Soma's going to find out that this is double Stargate. He does get one Corsair, I think. And that cannon is very low on health, but those mutas are going down. Only 2 mutas are left. He only gets the cannon. He does get, I think, 1 or 2 Corsairs there, but this is a very good trade for Snow. Going for mutas as a Zerg this early is a huge commitment. More mutas coming in here. He's keeping up with this muta production. He's trying to deny that cannon from coming up, because if that cannon is not up, these Scourges can actually do a lot of damage against these Corsairs. Very nice Corsair marker though, taking down these Scourges. That is beautiful. He does get a Corsair though. 4 Corsairs is well enough, and that cannon is going up. I think second cannon should be on the way anytime here soon, but he has kind of defended this right now. 6 Corsairs out, plus 1 attack should be done very soon as well. High Templar Archives going down. 1 Muta is out for the Zerg currently. A few Corsairs, but the Scourges are going to melt once 2 more Corsairs are out. That's going to be very hard for Scourges to do anything. 7 Corsairs out now. Hydra then is up, so he's going to have to make a lot of Hydras to defend his Overlords. His economy is quite low, and you see the Scourges do absolutely nothing. None of the Corsairs go down, and about 8 or 10 Scourges went down there. That might hit. Very nice. Gets 1 Corsair, about 7 Corsairs. This is going to be very hard to defend. 1 Spore is on the way, maybe 2. But those Overlords are going to go down, and the Zerg play is going to be supply bot for a bit here. Trying to hide those Overlords as well. Top right corner, if he finds those, that's very big, and he does. There are so many Overlords going down. Soma's in such a bad position now. Extremely supply blocked. He doesn't have any spores in the third base here, and I think a DT is on the way, because the Templar Archive has been done for a while now, so DTs coming out are a possibility. Overlords are going down. Supply blocked again. Soma is finally getting some Hydras out now, but there we see the DT coming out, so that third base location of the Zerg is in high risk to get harassed by the DTs now if he doesn't get Spore Colonies down. And those are clumped Overlords. I think he's going to go for those Overlords. A shuttle is out too. Those do not have speed. Those are dead. Dead Overlords. Okay, he defends most of them. But there's nothing to defend the main base against these DTs. So, how is he going to defend that main base? I don't think he can. Oh my god. 5 Overlords go down so fast to those Corsairs. They were low on health, but still, it's insane. And this is probably when the Zerg leaves the game, because what is he going to do? Any Overlords being produced there are going to instantly die from those Corsairs. And that Spire is going to go down. And the Protoss has 30 seconds before that Overlord reaches the main base of the Zerg. So that Spire is definitely going down. Probably the pool as well. He's killing the eggs. He's got Overlord speed now, which is extremely important. He can defend this and kill off the DTs. Losing the Spire though is pretty annoying. Losing more Overlords here. He can make Hydras to defend against this, but he's just very behind here. 50 supply against 114. Reaver's out as well. Zealot speed, that's a lot of Zealots too. And you can just see how low on minerals Soma is, and his income is quite low as well. Snow has a very healthy 2-base economy here. And a lot of Corsairs, and those Corsairs still have a lot of important map control purposes, even though he's only playing against mass Hydras here. 1 Reaver going down. He gets the shuttle, that's pretty big, but there's no Hydras left to kill the Zealots, and we see these Overlords going down as a consequence. If you take out the Hydras, your Corsairs can take out the Overlords, and that's why they still are very important. GG. Alright, very nice games here, very close. 3-4, but Protoss does win that. Very close games. I do not know how this tournament really works. I don't know who's going to go to the next, who's going, I think just everyone in the Protoss team survives for the next series upcoming, but I'm not really sure how this works. Either way, very entertaining, brutal games, and it's nice to see some different players, some semi-pros and mid-tier professional players like Julyso going at it. And Julyso really impressed me with his play. He was really close taking down Harang. So I would say that Julyso versus Harang was the best game of this series. And props to Harang for killing 3 Zergs, and props for Soma for taking out Harang with that Ling pressure early on. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching this very long cast. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found the games to be entertaining. Peace.